And the universal essence of life is a continual becoming. So here's what you want to understand about that is if it is a continual becoming, then there is no time when we arrive. It is what was said in Thinking into Results in the reading on, oh, some of you know it, which was Rules for Being Human. That when you imagine that you arrive, so you want to get there, and when that there becomes here, you are now there, then that here, then you have a new there. It's always a becoming, a continual becoming. And this for me gave me a lot, this provided relief for me. This allowed me to enjoy the journey of my becoming, of my unfolding, of my next levels and next levels and next levels. Because I wasn't then hustling and grinding to get to a certain place. I was evolving and becoming. And I could now enjoy the journey. So and let me just show you an example. So when I book a call with somebody, let's say it's another provider that maybe there's someone I want to work with, that I think I want to work with that person. And then that person needs to cancel for whatever reason. I'm actually delighted in that, because then I think, oh, I wonder how this is all going to pan out. Will I still end up working with that person, or will I now be guided to work with somebody else? But that was the easiest way to start the process, was to book the call with that person, but it's not meant to be with that person. It was meant to be with somebody else, but I started with that person. This happens in the case when some people who choose to work with me, who are like, oh, I was working with somebody else, I feel for my next level now, I meant to work with you, but that work was meant to happen with that first person. Or we were meant to, go the wrong way. So then you start to realize that this is the unfolding of it, the becoming of it is it. Like that really is it, and being present to it. And since we are part of nature, we do not need to go further than ourselves to find the life-giving energy at work with all its powers. Okay, so now we move into the part of the process where we really lean into our higher faculties. How do we do this? This is the part of receiving. I think receiving is so, receiving, which maybe you may think, well, but that's in the physical. It is so tied to our higher faculties, because part of receiving is letting and allowing. And one of the things Thomas Troward says is allowing it to rise to the surface, which means letting and allowing intuition to rise to the surface, letting and allowing those intuitive ideas, those nudges you have, to rise to the surface. One of my private clients reached out to me and said that there was somebody in her life, and she does not know why, but she gets, she has a reaction, a negative reaction when she is around her. And she doesn't need to be around her. It's not a family member or anybody like that. And she's like, so I've kind of removed her from her social media and things like that. But she's like, but I don't know why. Like, it's not like there's anything inherently wrong or this person has done anything. So what I said to her, I said, if intuitively you're feeling like there's something about the person's energy that's not right, trust it. You don't have to wait until you're proven right to then go, okay, yeah, see, my gut was right all the time. What if you just trusted intuition and it didn't make you a bad person, and you don't have to, and you can still be evolved and a kind and, a spiritual person, and say, right now, for whatever reason, I don't understand it, but I'm having a reaction. So right now I'm just going to remove myself and not have you in my orbit, so to speak. So that's intuition. That's allowing yourself to be guided from intuition. It does not make sense to your senses at that time, and then we talk ourselves out of it, and we talk and we make ourselves wrong because it doesn't make sense. But what if, and this was something that came up for me when I went through the breakdown those years ago with Paul, and people said, well, would you be worried that the same thing could happen again? I don't know what episode that is, but it is in the podcast. It's within the first 10. I know that. And the podcasts are short if you want to hear the story behind it. But the one thing that made the difference for me was that I was never, ever, ever not going to trust my intuition again. It did not have to, quote unquote, make sense. If something within me was saying something, getting my attention, and I was feeling something, then that was evidence enough. I didn't need any more than that. So that is part of the letting and allowing. It's about, and receiving. It's being connected to the life-giving energy that is within us, and it's allowing it to rise to the surface. And we do not have to make it rise, because it is the innermost of ourselves. So it is here within you. It is simply awaiting recognition, is what Thomas Troward says, that this essence of life is simply awaiting recognition for its own manifestation. Neville Goddard talks about this, and Robert Russell as well, that it's up to us to give human parentage to the idea, to the expansion.